Well, hello, my name is Ashley Martin. I am a licensed as well as board certified behavior analyst and also a certified anger management specialist. Today, I would like to talk a little bit more about what is a behavior intervention plan. This plan is definitely necessary to help identify challenging behaviors, whether it's in children or adults, and find out ways to be proactive and reactive so that we can either decrease certain behaviors that's maybe inappropriate, as well as have replacement behaviors in place so that we can definitely offer that reinforcement piece. So to begin, I definitely wanted to give a little bit more information, a visual more so that you can see a little template that I kind of use to kind of create a behavior intervention plans and what you should definitely include in it. So just going off an example, we may have a target behavior, which is a behavior of concern. So let's say screaming, right? So operational definition in ABA, we always try to be specific. So something you actually can visually see and hear. So screaming is high pitched sounds, words that are repeated and cause disturbance within the environmental setting. Right. So within the ABA, we have those 4 functions, and of course, this is just an example. I'm gonna go ahead and idea a student or a person, we'll call him John Doe. So John Doe's function, it can either be escape, it can be attention, it can be sensory or tangible. So we want to say tangible. Regarding tangible, basically, what that means is something that the person wants and either not given access or denied, right? So the setting event could be any specific location. Maybe it only happens at home. Maybe it only happens in school. Maybe it only happens in math class or PE class. So just give specific information about the setting events. If it happens all across different places, you can say at home, school, or community. Whenever access is denied. So proactive strategies, basically this means strategies that you try to intervene prior to the behavior even occurring. So proactive strategies, you may want to use a timer, offer structure within the setting. You may want to give those verbal prompts. Hey, we're about to go ahead and go to free play, or we're about to do manipulatives or science area. Just give those verbal prompts. So, once the time is up with that person using, whether it's a tablet, whether it's a toy in particular, that they know that, okay, a transitioning is about to occur. So you give prompts. You may even have a visual, a schedule guide, where in this case, you may have the individual actually be the person to move their picture along the time frame of the schedule that has pictures to know what's next. Or you may have a first and then board, right? First and then board is also something simple to personalize. First, you do your puzzle. then you'll be able to play with the iPad. So you may have the person choose at least 2 or 3 options. What would you like to work towards? And they select something, and you make sure you select that for the then board on that then part. So they'll know this is actually something you're working towards. So these are all just, like I said, suggestions. Reactive strategies, though, when the behavior actually occurs, you may redirect with that verbal prompting. You may redirect them with a visual. Maybe you have a visual behavioral board in your class in particular, or even at home, where if you start on green, then you have yellow and red, and they know that, hey, I don't want to stay on red, so I need to change my behavior to go back to green. So maybe this could be a great strategy that you can use. Also, you may want to offer a break. So with a break, the person can go to the restroom, get something to drink, or just, walk around as they choose. So like I said, this is just a reactive strategy. Also, you may offer time for the person to speak if there was something they wanted to talk about. So either case, still offer that timer piece. So a crisis plan, if they become in harm of self or others, you definitely want to implement a crisis plan just to be sure that the person, as well as others in the environment setting, is safe at all times. And help is available. And if the behavior is persistent, where the behavior definitely poses a danger to self or others, be sure to call 911. Another reactive strategy, a lot of times there are sensory rooms that that the child or individual may want to go to on a break. So even a sensory toy can be a proactive strategy. Maybe they can use a sensory toy prior to that transition so that they're more calmer by time that they have to transition to actually do some work. So the generalized plan, basically within a generalized plan, you want to be able to use the same techniques and approaches that you may use in the classroom, whether home or community. So you basically want to communicate that across all spectrums so that everyone understands what's being done at home or at school or in the community, so that that child in particular or that person in particular knows, no matter who I may be with, this is what is expected of me, and this is what will happen in the event that I do engage in this behavior. So within a generalized plan, you want to be sure to educate staff and family regarding behavior strategies implemented that have been decreasing. We call it maladaptive or challenging behaviors, such as screening. So that these techniques can be used across settings effectively. All right, so moving right along here. So replacement behavior, you always want to replace a challenging behavior for a more appropriate behavior. So instead of screaming, if the person is not screaming and say that they're attentive to tasks, they're compliant. In particular, you know, you want to make sure you are reinforcing that. So basically in a positive light. So you might offer that positive reinforcement, which may be in a form of praise. So, you know, that positive reinforcement, that natural, we want to start off with that natural reinforcement, such as praise, that verbal recognition. You know, sometimes edibles, you know, something tangible of such, right? Something is given that these things, you know, are given to increase, you know, future behavior. So negative reinforcement. So that's actually something is taken away to decrease that behavior in the future. And just kind of give an example because there are so many type of reinforcement techniques. There's an extension where you do not give attention to the challenging behavior, but you stay engaged. So meaning that based on the setting, right, you never want to use some sort of reinforcement that will disturb, you know, the classroom in particular, especially in the small area. So extension may not be the best option, but it is known to be very effective. Of course, you may see a heighten of the behavior, but over time, that person is going to realize that I may be tossing things now, but eventually I'm not going to be tossing them. And over time, within a week or two, hopefully, it's going to go down, right? But like I said, classroom behavior may not be the best environment to do that in. You also have, and this is a brief, you know, information that I'm giving currently right now, differential reinforcement of alternative behavior. So alternative from screaming is not screaming, right? So when the student is not screaming, right? You're going to offer that reinforcement. And then differential reinforcement of other behavior is like whenever the student is, no matter what behavior he's engaging in that's not screaming, you want to give that reinforcement. So when student is not, engaging or displaying screaming, you will give a sense of reinforcement towards that behavior that they're not engaging in with screaming. A lot of times DRO is used a lot, and to be more specific, you want to use DRA. So once again, this is a general synopsis of how to conduct a behavior intervention plan. You want to make sure you have the target, the operational definition of it, the function, the settings, the proactive strategies, the reactive strategies, the crisis plan, if needed, necessary, a generalized plan, some replacement behaviors, the reinforcement principles that you will be using, and you know, an understanding of if, as far as the verbiage, that whoever may read it, they can easily implement it, because that one teacher may not be available all the time. Of course, they're not going to be available all the time. So you want to make sure that this behavior intervention plan in particular is accessible and easily be able to use across all areas. So if you like to look more information about behavior intervention plans, feel free to reach out to me at info@clihumanservices.com. And once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Change Lanes Intervention. So until next time, bye.